Think Harris could have gotten a deal with Hamas?
Well, I mean, you brought up a good point. I think I was the only Democrat early on to give President Trump credit for the peace deal. Why wouldn't you?
Do you think Harris could have gotten it?
Well, again, I don't know. She's not the president. But where I'm at right now, it's like, ask any of the hostages or their families. They think President Trump was a hero and he deserves, the kind of deal for that thing. I think that was really a remarkable development.
Do you think Harris could have got him out?
No.
I think it's a silly question.
It's a what?
I think it's a silly question.
Wait. You agree that it's a silly question?
That's why they're clapping. Okay. They're clapping because they...
Security, right here.
I think the most important point is just realizing who did it, not hypothetically or anything. I'm saying it's like, here's what happened. And there are actual members of my party that have refused to even acknowledge that this was significant. And that's for me, where it's like, hey, our politics might be different, but this was a significant development.
Okay.
And now also it's what Israel was able to accomplish. They had to neutralize Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis, and Iran. And also another thing, the Iranian nuclear facilities. I mean, like, I was the only Democrat that supported, you have to destroy those facilities. Can you imagine if they didn't, Iran could be acquiring a nuclear bomb, who knows, within the next year?
Let me say this. Out of respect to Kamala Harris, let me tell you why she deserves an explanation as to why I don't think she could have gotten it done. Because leading into the election, what was the problem? It was extreme capitulation to the progressive left, who were finding reasons to side with, I don't want to say siding with Hamas. I certainly don't want to accuse them of that. But it just seemed like whatever they wanted, the left that wasn't far left was leaning more left. And so because of that, why should we believe that all of a sudden she'd get into office and she'd forget what she thought got her there? That's the only reason I'm saying that. Having said that, I'd like to get back to the person that asked the question, and I'd like to remind them that's part of the problem, respectfully, when you're calling them pinheads and going through all of this other stuff. See, that kind of name calling feeds into things.
Yeah, but he did it in a funny way.
Let me explain what yeah, it's a funny way.
Wasn't malice.
I didn't say he was malice. I didn't say there was malice. What I'm saying is that you have to take into consideration how the other side is going to react to it. When I think about the Democrats right now, you ask the question as to what change is going to take place. Will they change? Could they ever change? Well, a lot of that depends on the midterm election. If they lose the midterm election, they'll change. They got no choice if they want to have a shot in 2028. If they don't, they get blitzed like they did in 2024. Then guess what? It's going to incentivize them to change. So it all depends on the midterm election.
Did you hear what he said about the Mets? Come on, you're crucifying them. So if
I didn't crucify him. He and I just waved at each other.
No,
he didn't crucify. The only person that's using that word is you.
If you feel that the other side, with the other team or whatever, and I want to get your opinion on this, is doing something bad for the country, then you go after them, right?
Yeah, well, it's like that's why shutting the government is really what the Democratic Party wants to do. And I follow country, then party, and it's the wrong thing for the country in a period of chaos. I refuse to vote to shut our government down. I absolutely would love to have... I would love to have a conversation about extending the tax credits for health care, absolutely. But I would remind everybody, too, this was designed by the Democratic Party to expire at the end of the year. This is not something taken by the Republicans. They were designed to expire. Now let's have a conversation to extend it and not shut our government down, and let's continue to have...
Thune has already agreed to that.
Well, I mean, that...
You know that?
Well, for me, I do believe Leader Thune is an honorable man,
yeah.
And I do believe he's not going to lie. I mean, you can't guarantee any outcome, but what I'm saying, that's talking about what's wrong for the country. I can't vote for I can't vote to shutting our government down.
I think that you... Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.